Hey guys, I'm here in Greenwich Village by West 4th Street by the famous basketball courts and also the West 4th Street subway station for the A.C.E. And what I want to talk about is subway crime. But first I want to use a phrase that Fat Joe gave when he was talking about getting paid and compensated what he truly deserves. You know the phrase, yesterday's price is not today's price. Well, I'm here to tell you that yesterday's New York is not today's New York. What we're dealing with here in the streets and in the subways is a very different situation than we had before the pandemic. Now, today the MTA released statistics saying that subway crime overall is down for the year compared to last year. Some people might not believe that. However, when it comes to subway assaults and thefts, like people having phones taken, bags taken, wallets lifted, that type of thing, or these random being pushed into the tracks or being shoved or being punched or hit, that type of thing, that those crimes in the month of September were up 50%. So we've been talking to people out here all day about whether they feel safer in the train or not. And I just wanted to take this opportunity to give you a few tips, because clearly there are a lot of people that are out now who are just out there to try to rip people off. So the number one thing on the subway is, if you're gonna wear in-ear AirPods or whatever you listen to, don't have them on both ears, have them on one ear. The reason being that if you have them in only one ear, you can still hear your music or program, or if you're listening to Street Soldiers or whatever, and then the other ear you can get a sense of what's around you. Because one of the things I learned from martial arts is that you have to have that spatial sense of who's coming close to you, especially because we have many mentally disturbed people on the streets, and it's very sad. They deserve to be in supportive housing, getting the treatment and help that they need, but they are out on the streets, and then when they're using drugs or whatever else is happening, it gets very, very bad and they can turn very violent. So you need to be aware of your surroundings at all times, because there's a lot of random things that are taking place. So that's number one. Don't completely shut your ears off to what's happening around you. And especially if you're using the noise canceling feature on your headphones, turn that off before you go out into the streets, because that really does tune out the noise that's all around you. But that noise that you're hearing could be something that helps you to avert a problem. Number two, for women, you need to really be careful about your bag, how you're carrying your bag. I think I may have to do a whole video on this. It is kind of like the 90s. Crossbody bags are my favorite when I'm walking around in the city, because it's across my bag, I have my hands free, and then also I can have my wallet, my phone, whatever else I have that's valuable in my bag, and have it zipped up. If you're carrying a tote bag, make sure that it's a tote bag that zips at the top. I know some of the trendy ones don't zip at the top, but you need to really be careful, because there are people, especially on the train or especially in a crowded situation, that will stick their hand in and take out your wallet. The other thing I want to point out too is, on the train, obviously you don't want to fall asleep. The other thing too is not standing too close to the edge of the platform. Pretty much everybody that rides a train knows that one. But also the other thing that's been happening that we've been seeing is that when you're going into your apartment building, especially for women, or if you're going into a gated, secure area that's like on the outside of your apartment complex, they're being followed in. Women are being followed in, and they're being robbed or raped or attacked once they're inside what they supposedly think is a secure area. So please be aware of somebody who's coming up behind you. I know we all like to be polite and hold the door open for somebody else who's coming in behind us. We don't want them to think we're being rude, but better to be thought rude and be safe than to pretend nice and actually let somebody in. The other thing too is keeping your physical distance, especially in areas around Midtown, around Penn Station. You want to make sure that you are not getting too close to anyone who looks as if they are unbalanced. And there's a lot of people on the streets. We've been out here all day. There's people on the streets that I'll see at a distance, and I'll go like, okay, safe, that person is not a threat or whatever. And then when you get closer to them, they'll start popping off their mouth, they'll say crazy things and that type of thing. So you need to really constantly be aware of your surroundings at all times. This is not the New York of pre-pandemic, where things were relatively safe. This is a very different thing, and there's a lot of instability just in the air in general. So please be safe, please be aware of your surroundings, and let me know what safety tips you'd like to find out about, and we'll see if we can do some demonstrations too, especially for the ladies, okay? All right guys, thank you so much. Have a great night.